Hello and welcome to our podcast episode. We've got a guest with us in the studio. Let's meet her. Can you introduce yourself to everyone?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm Carrie, owner of Rene K Couture. We are based in Barrowford, so I'm a Burnley girl, born and bred, and we make made-to-measure bridesmaids, bridal, occasion wear, swimwear, loungewear, you name it, we make it. Everything is made in-house, so we have a small team of all females as well, all from around the area, and we make everything in-house in our studios and our showroom. But I've moved away, I've moved back, I've been to university in Leeds, but there's just something about Burnley that draws me back in every time. So when I was looking at setting up my business and where I was going to set it up, Burnley had to be the ultimate choice, really. So we're based just outside of Burnley. We're based in Barrowford, and we have showrooms, we have studios, we have offices, so we all kind of work from like, it's a very small team, but it works for us.
And of course you're local to the area, but you're internationally known as your brand Rene K, aren't you?
Well, this is it. So we have a showroom that, like I say, is based in Barrowford, that if you are in the UK or local to us, you can come and visit. I love seeing customers, but we also ship internationally, so and nationally as well. But we are known for TV work, red carpet. So we're in TV shows such as Towie, and all these celebrities that you might see on a red carpet at, say, the BAFTAs or National TV Awards. We also make clothes for these celebrities. So you may have seen us without even knowing about it.
But you know, everything you're doing, you're contributing to put Burnley on the world stage, aren't you, in your industry?
Wow, well, that's a goosebump
Yeah.
comment. But I think when you do go outside the local area and you do go down, say, to London to Fashion Week, or you go to anywhere in the world, and you mention, and they're like, what accent is that? Are you from near Burnley? You're like, yeah, oh, I know someone from Burnley. And we infiltrate every industry. There's somebody doing something, you know, and I think we make such an impact, and with characters, aren't we? So everyone remembers.
Talking about like internationally known, the town obviously, you know, has previously held a position in the world, the industry of textiles, the cotton industry. How important is that in the modern day now, this textile identity that we've got? You're sort of at the centre of that now, the modern day identity that we're carving in the town.
Well, this is it. Burnley is an historic textile town, isn't it? So, and we were the epicentre of the cotton industry at one point, and with everything now completely changing over the past 50 to even 100 years, I suppose, going out into different countries, and very recently all the kind of bad news about Leicester and their manufacturing there as well. Everything that was once UK based is now outsourced. However, there's still a lot going on in Burnley. That we've got textiles, we've got my suppliers. I go to Burnley, I know that they're within a 20-minute drive away, so if I need something quickly, I know that I can go to the nearest supplier, fabric manufacturer, and like John Spencer's as well. There's still a lot happening in Burnley, and I love that we have that kind of historic thread going through it. We're not ready to let it go. We're hanging on, but I think we're doing really well. I mean, some of the fabrics that are made like John Spencer are like, what was it, the throne or something? Was it the fabric on the throne? I heard that was for King Charles.
Oh yeah, and I believe the Pope is also sitting on some fabric that was made in Burnley at the Penaz factory here as well.
This is it. It just goes to show that the textile industry is still thriving in Burnley, and I love that I'm part of that as well.
So the thread that's going through the town is this cultural thread of textiles and the history involved in that. But what does culture mean to you, Carrie?
That is a really difficult question. And even like pre-doing this conversation, I had a little discussion with you, and I was like, I don't actually know what culture means. But as we've been talking, I think, and talking about the history of fashion and textiles in Burnley, I think culture is something that is created, especially at a micro level within a town like Burnley. We have our own ways, we have our own culture, and even as a UK we have our own culture at a macro level. Within that, with Burnley's very, like I said, we've got our own kind of character, we've got our own feeling to the town, and it's kind of it's in us. So culture, I think, is something that feels like it's innate, that's passed down through the generations, especially when we're so proud of our town.
And I suppose what we wear is also kind of part of how we express our identity and part of our culture as well. So you are at the centre of, you know, shaping what people are wearing, young people especially. Would you say that's true?
Because we're mainly bridal and bridesmaids, there's no one that's doing it like we do. So we do made to measure, we use premium stretch fabrics that are made and sourced within our town. And I think that we are kind of setting the trend in the bridal industry, which I never ever thought I would be saying that, because when we did kind of the ready to wear, that was reactionary fashion, but now I feel like I can carve my own kind of trend out now, and I can see other companies, not copying should I say, following in our footsteps.
How can we encourage other young people to come into your industry to sort of make their mark on Burnley's culture?
This is it, it's difficult because sewing is probably classed as something that's quite old-fashioned. They stopped it at schools. I was possibly one of the last years that did sewing and textiles at school or college, along with things like woodwork. And then I went and taught at the local college as well, and it was all theory based. It wasn't very hands-on. People want to walk away, especially young students that want to be inspired. They want to walk away with something tangible in their hands that they have made, and then kind of think about the process as well. It's got to be a good balance of each, and I felt quite disheartened that courses were going more towards a theory base rather than you want to feel something in your hands, they're doing something. When I was a teacher, I kind of got a little bit disheartened by it, so I set up my own sewing school. It was Stitch and Bitch. So you could do a 6-week course and you could walk away with a top, a skirt. It was for any age group. So I loved inspiring young people doing that. And when I had the shop, I took on lots of, I'd call them young entrepreneurs, and kind of underneath the umbrella of the shop that I had in Burnley Town Centre. And now that I've got Rene K, we do internships for college and university, we do work experience, and I teach them every single aspect of the business, from sewing to doing social media. So something like, we did something really silly and viral. We went into McDonald's. I made a dress out of a French fry print, which was sourced in Burnley. I got that in Burnley, and we did this French fry print, and I went and bought loads of fries in McDonald's in Burnley Town Centre and dished them out, and had one of my staff members come and film it, and then put it on social media for like International French Fry Day or something. It was just something really silly, really fun, that worked for the business. So it's this kind of silliness and kind of inspiring, thinking outside the box, kind of what we want really from the younger generation that we're bringing up through our business as well.
Yeah, like sort of breaking free from the constraints, the stuffiness, and you're thinking of new, fresh ways to approach fashion, interacting with people, especially young people, like you've just said.
I think fashion can be seen as quite snobby sometimes, so you need something like an icebreaker, you need something relatable, you need to show the people behind the brand, and that's what's great about social media, that even if we're local to Burnley, we are seen nationally and internationally, and I want people to see what we're about and the town that we're from and the people that we've got working for us and their aspirations, and so social media is a great platform to show that on, and to share it as well.
Thinking ahead to 2027, Burnley is planning a year of culture. How do you see your industry and you as a person fitting into this plan, this great vision we've got for Year of Culture? Would that be collaborations? Would it be events you'd like to put on yourself? Just tell us a bit about what your dream would be for that.
Well, the Burnley world is our oyster really, isn't it? I think there's so many exciting things happening, and even though it's quite a few years away yet, it's going to go so fast, and the planning and everything that, because we've got some big ideas that we need, will take a little while. I'd love to see some kind of fashion week within our town, that we can get local colleges, local young entrepreneurs involved in it as well, business owners, and all these fashion textiles and factories as well involved, and really showcase what we can do and what we're capable of. So that would be amazing. I think getting sewing back into the younger generations as well, so back into a classroom would be great. I would even dabble back into maybe some teaching, so doing something like not a national sewing day, but maybe a local sewing day, so every generation. So someone that's younger in college could bring the grandma as well, and they can do something together, because my grandma taught me to sew. That's how I learnt to sew. I'm self trained, I suppose. So I'd love a mix of generations coming together and learning the basics as being a seamstress, but then having this kind of young world, this, you're looking outside the box, you're doing something different. We could do a fashion week, we could do some sewing lessons, and doing something in the town centre. That would be amazing.
That sounds fantastic. I personally would definitely come along to those. Strangely, I come from a family of sewers as well, but the skill has never been passed to me, because I think partly maybe I didn't think I had the aptitude for it, but I do really want to learn to sew, and I think feeling you're never too old to learn is also a great thing to pass on, that everyone can be involved in these events in the town. It isn't just for a particular demographic, it's an inclusive event, isn't it? So you heard it here first, Stitch and Bitch may be coming back.
I think even from, I started it as kind of make, do and mend. So it's all about sustainability as well, because we're a zero waste fashion brand, which I pride myself on. We want to lessen that carbon footprint, especially in the local area. So if you can learn basics, you don't need to throw something away just because the buttons come off it. If it's got a little something going on, you can put a little patch on it or something, or you can cut it up and make it into something else. That's how I started, upcycling bits from my own wardrobe, making them into something funky. I mean, it was the late 90s, early 2000s, so thank goodness there were camera phones back then. But that's what we want. We want that sustainability. We don't want this throwaway fashion. And even if that has to start in a local area like Burnley and then spread nationally, I mean, imagine being the epicentre of some kind of sustainability move that just takes off nationally. And if we can get some basic sewing skills back into this younger generation, and they can have fun kind of upcycling, and thinking about the sustainability and thinking about where their clothing comes from.
Yeah, exactly. And also thinking that they're part of this great tradition in the town. They're the next step, aren't they?
Well, that's a culture then coming through, isn't it? So the town that we pride ourselves on being a cotton textile industry town then comes through and says, I'm from Burnley, I've made this, I'm really proud of it. And it gives them aspirations that if someone's not very academic, say, that they can do something with their hands, they can sew, that could be a way of them making money, that can be their side hustle, they can be self-employed, they can do something, and it fulfills you, it really does, when it goes right. When the sewing machine's broken or something's not going right, it can be very frustrating. You do want to throw the sewing machine through that lovely window out into the countryside, but when it does go right, it fills you. It's like an addiction, and this is why I sew every single day. And my husband will he'll agree with this, but if I'm on holiday, I have to take a sewing kit, I'm sewing something at the side of the pool. It is an addiction. I have to do something with my hands every day, because it does fill me. It fills me with joy.
It's that creation of something, isn't it, that you've made yourself.
This is it, yeah.
I have to say, Carrie, you've inspired me to dig out those dungarees that I tried to make 2 years ago. I think I'm going to restart making them again. So I'd rather make a wedding dress than a pair of dungarees. They're so difficult to make, so maybe start with something a bit simpler, like just a skirt, just a basic skirt. You'll have to come to the studio and I can teach you. I'd love to. And it's a great feeling to have, isn't it, that you can start really small, whether it's making a pair of dungarees in your front room, or whatever that is that you want to start with your project, and then the sky's the limit. You can go anywhere with it, and you can be dressing someone we'll see on our TV screens, just like you have. Can you tell us a bit about who you've dressed?
This is it. I mean, I learnt to sew. My grandma taught me how to make a little teddy, and that's one of the first things that I was sewing at maybe 6 or 7. And it feels weird that I've started sewing teddies and then 30 years later, I'm dressing celebrities on the red carpet, and then seeing my designs on New York Times Square billboard for, say, Selling Sunsets, and then seeing it on Netflix, you know, when the programs come up, when you've got like that, and I'm like, oh, that's my dress, and then I still get excited. It still absolutely fills me, and it's such a thrill to see your designs, something that you have made, not just your design and sent it off to manufacturer. I've sat there and I've stitched this, and I've packed it and I've shipped it myself, and then to see it on a celebrity or on a TV show it is a pinch me moment. That's what I was saying at the beginning. It doesn't feel real. I think when you stop and take stock of what you do as somebody that's self-employed or owns a business, it can take your breath away. So when I do see it on Selling Sunsets or a TV programme, it's kind of like, oh, I've done that. I've done that. And then you give yourself a little pat on the back and then go on to the next project. So from sewing teddies with my grandma to seeing it on the red carpet and seeing it on billboards in New York is just mind-blowing, really, for just a local lass from Burnley, really.
Yeah, you've poured your heart and soul into that garment, and it's shipped around the world, and just flying the flag for you, flying the flag for Burnley.
Each one feels like my little baby, because I've been involved from liaising with a celebrity, or who, you know, just a discerning customer, really. So someone that wants a custom order, we'll liaise with them back and forward. I might sketch, I'll speak to them, we'll have a fitting with them, and then from that I will then do a pattern, I'll then cut it, I'll make it, I'll package it. It's like every single piece that we make within that studio is done with love. Amazing. But we engage with our customers, we let them see all the behind the scenes, we show them the celebrities that come to the studio and the showroom, everyone from Love Islanders to Towie, to when we make dresses, we did something for Kate Middleton for her charity ones to auction off. Gemma Collins on the catwalk, on a red carpet, and like I said, Polly, who's a local lass as well, Polly Brindle in Selling Sunsets on a billboard, and then to see it on Netflix, it's just, yeah, it is a stop and take stock moment, really.
Yeah. And who would you like to see on Burnley's catwalk in our Fashion Week 2027?
Who am I going to call on in my celebrity little black book? Ooh, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep you guessing. I don't want to make any promises, but I will definitely get the word about and see who we can get coming to Burnley to showcase local talent.
She's keeping us guessing, so watch this space, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in to chat to us, Carrie. It's been really inspirational, and tune in for the rest of the series to see who else we've got in our studio.
Our people, our culture, because Burnley's cultural story is how we shape our future. Thank you for watching this video, and look out for exciting updates on the Year of Culture 2027.